मैं अदिति आप सभी का स्वागत करती हूँ आज के इस बहुत ही खास सेमिनार में। लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, अ वेरी गुड आफ्टरनून टू एवरीबॉडी प्रेजेंट हियर। आज का ये जो मंच है ये कला, सिनेमा और संवाद का संगम है। We are gathered here for a very special seminar under the banner of FIPRESCI, the International Federation of Film Critics. फिल्म्स की दुनिया और जर्नलिज्म आपस में इतनी ज्यादा इंटरकनेक्टेड है कि आज यहाँ जितने भी जर्नलिज्म के स्टूडेंट्स प्रेजेंट है, ये सेशन उनके लिए भी बहुत ज्यादा फायदेमंद साबित होगा। सिनेमा एक ऐसा माध्यम है जो केवल कहानियां नहीं कहता, बल्कि सभ्यता, संस्कृति और भावनाओं को भी बहुत अच्छी तरह दर्शाता है। भारतीय सिनेमा दुनिया में सबसे ज्यादा फिल्म्स बनाता है, तो भी इंटरनेशनल लेवल पर अपनी मजबूत पहचान बनाने में थोड़ा सा असफल रह गया है। हालांकि आरआरआर जैसी जो मूवीज है उन्होंने हमारी उम्मीद जरूर जगाई है, लेकिन हमारी जो चुनौती है वो स्क्रीन राइटिंग, कहानियों की वजह से है या हमारे प्रस्तुतिकरण की वजह से है। ये सवाल हमारा आगे का भविष्य तय करेगा कि इंडियन सिनेमा आगे कहाँ होगा। आज का जो हमारा विषय है, चैलेंजेस ऑफ इंडियन सिनेमा कंपीटिंग इन ग्लोबल प्लेटफॉर्म्स, इस पर चर्चा करने के लिए और इसे बहुत खास और यादगार बनाने के लिए हमारे साथ में मौजूद है 3 अद्वितीय व्यक्तित्व, जिनका सिनेमा के प्रति बहुत बड़ा एक योगदान रहा है और उनका योगदान भी हमारे लिए बहुत प्रेरणादायक रहा है। तो आइए उनका स्वागत करते हैं। मैं रेखा मैम से दरख्वास्त करूंगी कि वो हमारे तीनों गेस्ट को वेलकम करें। अभी मैं रेखा मैम से निवेदन करती हूँ कि वो अपना ओपनिंग रिमार्क दें।
नमस्कार। आप सभी लोग बहुत, मुझे लगता है कि ये सेमिनार सुनने के लिए हमारा जो AIFF चल रहा है वहाँ से यहाँ खींचा है आप लोगों को, ऐसा मुझे लग रहा है, क्योंकि वहाँ पूरे सारे एक्टिविटीज चल रहे हैं और उनको यहाँ क्लास में बिठाया है। लेकिन ये भी बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है एज अ जर्नलिज्म स्टूडेंट आप लोगों के लिए। और ये जो आज डायस पे पूरे महनीय जो वक्ता बैठे हैं उसमें है लतिका पाडगांवकर मैडम, जो कि बहुत सालों से फिल्में तो देखती है, लेकिन फिल्मों के ऊपर जो एक रिमार्क रहता है, जो एक समीक्षा रहती है फिल्मों की, वो मैडम करते आ रहे हैं। और बहुत सारे क्या बोलेंगे कि बहुत सारे बुक्स रीड करके उसको एडिट करके, और मैडम के बहुत सारे कॉलम भी चलते थे अलग अलग न्यूज़पेपर में। तो मैडम का मैं यहाँ बहुत बहुत स्वागत करती हूँ। हमारे दूसरे अतिथि है JP रामचंद्रन सर। वो साउथ से है और उनका वो ऐसे अभी बता रहे थे सर कि मैं एक रूरल में रहता हूँ और वहाँ से अभी पूरा जो भी इंडिया का जो भी ये हमारी संगठना है AIFF को जो ये कर रही है, क्रिटिक कर रही है, पूरे सिनेमा को देख रही है, उसका अभी रिजल्ट आएगा तो उसके ऊपर सर काम कर रहे हैं। तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगा कि जैसे हमें हमारे जर्नलिज्म में, मास कम्युनिकेशन में बहुत साल पहले हमारा एक बहुत बड़ा इन्होंने कहा था कि ये क्या बोलते हैं कि वर्ल्ड एक विलेज जैसा होगा। तो मार्शल मैकलूर ने ये कहा था कि वर्ल्ड एक विलेज जैसा होगा। तो ऐसा है कि हम कहीं भी बैठे तो ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि हम कम्युनिकेशन नहीं कर पाएंगे। तो मुझे रामचंद्रन सर का बहुत अच्छा लगा कि आपके अपने गांव में रह के भी हम कुछ अच्छा कर सकते हैं। ये आप लोगों के लिए बहुत बड़ा संदेश है। और हमारे जो सर हैं सेन सर, वो कलकत्ता से है, और वो भी बहुत सालों से ये फील्ड में लिखना और फिल्में वॉच करना, और उसमें बहुत उनका ये गहरा रुचि है। तो ये तीनों का मैं हमारे एमजीएम यूनिवर्सिटी की तरफ से स्वागत करती हूँ। और आज का जो विषय है, चैलेंजेस ऑफ इंडियन सिनेमा कॉम्पिटिंग इन ग्लोबल प्लेटफॉर्म्स। तो बहुत बार हमें ये क्वेश्चन आता है कि हमारी जो इंडियन फिल्म्स होती है, तो बहुत बार ऑस्कर की एक स्टेप चढ़ जाती है, लेकिन फिर बाद में पीछे आ जाती है। तो क्या ऐसा है कि हमारे पास तो बहुत अच्छा कल्चर है, हमारे पास तो बहुत अच्छे प्लेसेस है, हमारे पास अच्छे, क्या बोलते हैं कि हमारी परंपरा फाड़के साहब से आज तक बहुत अच्छी रही है। तो क्या हम कब तक, यानी कि, और एक क्वेश्चन ये भी आ जाता है कि लतिका मैडम है इसमें, कि हमारी जो ओरिजिनल फिल्में रहती है, खासकर हमारे महाराष्ट्र की, तो मराठी फिल्में, तो वो भी बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि बहुत अच्छी फिल्म होती है, लेकिन ये हमारे अपने जिनके पास पहुंचनी चाहिए तो वहां तक पहुंच नहीं पाती। उसमें क्या है कि ये तकनीकी टेक्निकल कुछ ये है, या फिर हमारी जो एक क्या बोलते हैं कि फिल्में पहुंचाने के लिए जो एक हमारा एक सिस्टम बनी है, वो कहीं पर गड़बड़ है। तो इसके ऊपर आपके भी मन में कोई भी सवाल हो, तो आप खुल के ये मंच को आप सादर कर सकते हैं। तो मैं ज़्यादा टाइम ना लेके तीनों का भी मैं बहुत दिल से यहाँ मैं स्वागत करती हूँ, और मुझे बहुत उम्मीद है कि आप लोगों को भी ये सेमिनार सुन के बहुत अच्छा लगेगा, और आपको हमारे पास फिल्म, ये मास कम्युनिकेशन का बहुत बड़ा क्या बोलते हैं कि एक सेक्टर है कि जहाँ आप आपका भी कुछ करियर कर सकते हैं। तो आपको नीचे ही हमारा फिल्म स्कूल है, तो ये दोनों कॉलेजेस, फिल्म स्कूल और जर्नलिज्म, इस फिल्म की तरफ हम जो देखते हैं एज अ एंटरटेनमेंट, तो हम थोड़ा स्टडी की तरफ से भी देख सकते हैं। मैं इतना बता सकता हूँ।
थैंक यू मैम। हमारे तीनों गेस्ट अपने विचार साझा करें उससे पहले मैं थोड़ा सा डिटेल में तीनों के बारे में बताना चाहूंगी। जस्ट फ्यू मिनट्स। शुरुआत करते हैं लतिका जी से। Latika Padgaonkar ji is a columnist, editor, translator, former joint director OCR Cinefan Film Festival, and former executive director, editor, Cinemaya, the Asian Film Quarterly. She was the foreign correspondent for the Telegraph in Paris in the 1980s. इसके अलावा उन्होंने यूनेस्को न्यू दिल्ली और नेशनल कमीशन फॉर वुमेन्स मीडिया ग्रुप में भी काम किया है। तो सबसे पहले लतिका जी को मैं इनवाइट करना चाहूंगी कि आप कृपया प्लीज शेयर योर विजडम विद अस। टॉकिंग अबाउट सिलादित्य सेन सर, he is an eminent film scholar and critic from Kolkata, brings over 34 years of expertise into the film of cinema studies. A passionate educator in film appreciation, he has also established himself as an accomplished author and essayist. He is currently associated with the editorial department of Anand Bazar Patrika. He has served on prestigious juries including Indian Panorama, National Film Awards, and many more. Dr. GP Ramachandran sir is distinguished film critic honored with the President's Gold Medal and the National Award for Best Film Critic in 2006. Recipient of 4 Kerala State Awards and numerous accolades, he has served on juries for prestigious festivals such as Suleimani International Film Festival, National Film Awards, and many more. He is currently a Kerala Sahitya Academy member and treasurer of FIPRESCI India, contributing significantly to literary and cinematic discourse. Now I request, please share your thoughts.
I'm very much thankful to you, all of you, giving the opportunity to be here. I think we can make a discussion very informally. I think so, because you have so many queries, and you are just ready to learn something, to know something, and the question something which will talk to you or tell you. The first speaker from us is GP Ramachandran. He will present a paper with the explanation. Then our beloved Madam Latika Didi, she will speak to you, and then I will totally coordinate the whole things. Okay?
Most respectful Rekha Madam, HOD Journalism College, distinguished panelists on the dais, and my dear friends, especially the students of MGM University of the dais. Good afternoon to all. We, on behalf of FIPRESCI India, thank the MGM Journalism College for organizing this seminar. Also, we thank you for inviting us to talk. FIPRESCI is an international organization of film critics, founded in 1930 at Academy Palace in Brussels, Belgium. The India chapter of FIPRESCI was founded in 1992 by Chidananda Das Gupta as president and Aruna Vasudev as vice president. FIPRESCI juries covers lots of festivals all over the world. Now I will directly come to the subject, and please allow me to present the paper. My paper broadly covers the subject. My co-panelist, Ms. Latika Padgaonkar, will elaborate it with specific examples, which will be very helpful to you. And Mr. Siladitya Sen will contribute his opinions and differences to it. Our subject is Challenges of Indian Cinema in Global Platforms. Cinema as a technological medium was introduced to India during the colonial era. In July 1896, the Lumiere brothers held the first cinematograph screening at the Watson Hotel in Bombay, marking the beginning of cinema's popularity among the Indian audience. The concept of Indian cinema also emerged as a part of a broader nation-building effort aimed at promoting indigenous culture and entrepreneurship. According to Ashish Rajadhyaksha, who wrote Encyclopedia of Indian Cinema, Dadasaheb Phalke is considered as the father of Indian cinema, not only because he created the first Indian film, but also because he envisioned filmmaking as a national indigenous venture which filled the screen with imagery that was regarded as distinctly Indian. Rajadhyaksha further emphasizes that the narration is the basic explanation and argument. Film technology did not emerge in isolation. It was a new medium of representation that interacted with and was shaped by movements in the cultural, political, and social realms. Unlike in other countries, the application of this technology in India was not based on pre-existing cultural frameworks. However, cinema should not be viewed as a neutral tool capable of accommodating anything. It possesses its own set of conditions, complexities, certainties, and ambiguities, as well as patterns and inconsistencies. So it is a futuristic medium, it's a new medium in all aspects. Indian cinema evolved from these foundational elements. Hundreds of films in Hindi were produced incorporating stories, songs and dance as integral components. Additionally, 6 major regional film industries, Marathi, Bengali, and the 4 South Indian languages, have consistently remained active independent of Bollywood. There has been uncertainty among critics about how to categorize Indian cinema for a very long time. While it is generally referred to as a musical social, the body of Indian cinema has consistently resisted being into a confined single and clear genre. Indian cinema has undergone a lengthy and transformative journey. It evolved from touring talkies to multiplexes, from silent films to surround sound, from theatre troupes to superstars, from singing actors to star singers, from real film to digital projection, from studio sets to the streets, and from a cottage industry to corporate dominance. In a nutshell, Indian cinema has transitioned from offering dreams to commodifying fantasies that fulfill desires. The traditional formulas of mainstream Indian cinema have become deeply embedded in the public consciousness, serving as social, cultural, moral, and psychoanalytic reflections. Its narrative techniques have become foundational models for storytelling and realism. It has become a new folklore, actually. The Indian cinema has become a new folklore in India. The narratives of song sequences, along with their integration of plot, transformation, and resolution, have become ingrained in our collective understanding. The fixed roles of the hero, villain, heroines, seductress, and joker are employed in a manner akin to pieces on a chessboard. In early days, films were primarily made for urban audiences, with a specific focus on male viewers. It was considered inappropriate for women of high social status to watch films. In the earlier days, the urban experience of anonymity and alienation played a significant role in shaping the representation of this audience. Madhav Prasad is a scholar, film scholar, proposes that the system of Indian cinema should be understood on two levels. One, as a part of the socio-political formation of modern India and the essential cultural framework within it. And two, as a component of the global capitalist system in which both the nation and its cinema operate, along with their interconnections. Urdu played a significant role in shaping the dialogues and songs of early Hindi cinema. While the moral framework, largely drawn from the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, and the vibrant celebrations of Hindu festivals, formed a robust basis for Hindi cinema, the themes of romance and romantic tales were largely influenced by Perso-Arabic traditions. It is not merely an imitation of Western cinema, but represents a unique genre with its own distinct visual narrative style, shaped by both ancient and modern regional influences. The iconic song and dance sequences in Hindi films, which often drew inspiration from the Mahabharata and Ramayana for their storylines and the Natya Shastra for their narrative approach, were rooted in the Parsi theatre traditions. So this mixage and this complexity is very important. For much of its history, mainstream Hindi films adhered to a formula that combined elements like musical interludes, humorous situations, dramatic conflicts, elaborate costumes, and feel-good resolutions. And many changes happened. The cinemas of the 1970s, we called it art film, or the parallel film, or the new wave, or the experimental film, any way, often labeled as modern or art cinema, sought to distance itself from Urdu tradition. Consider the titles of films by Shyam Benegal and Govind Nihalani: Ankur, Nishant, Manthan, Bhumiga, Ardhasatya, Akrosh. These new wave films were representations of an idealized lifestyle, urban models, and depictions of life through realistic imagery. In the mainstream, the larger-than-life persona of Amitabh Bachchan, the angry young man of the 1970s, is very not a young man now. We see he's a very aged and very matured person now. But he was an angry young man in 1970s. Resonated with the unemployed, the wounded, and the marginalized. Now we come to the globalization of Indian cinema. It is not a new phenomenon, as Latika ji will elaborate on it. In the recent times, Indian cinema has transcended geographical boundaries, captivating audiences around the globe. As I told, this is not a new phenomenon. Raj Kapoor was very popular in early Soviet Union. He was a superstar there. Many of our, even Amitabh Bachchan, this angry young man, is known to everywhere. When I went to Iraq, in Kurdistan in Iraq, they asked, do you know Amitabh Bachchan? They don't know our country's largeness and our population, and we have no access to such superstar. That's okay. The success of some films has highlighted the universal appeal of Indian storytelling. Some films have not only garnered accolades and awards, but have also defied stereotypes, offering a rich, nuanced portrayal of Indian society and culture to Indian international viewers. By showcasing the diverse facets of India's heritage, Indian cinema has played a key role in fostering cross-cultural understanding and appreciation worldwide. Indian cinema is much more than a source of entertainment. It embodies the nation's rich cultural heritage and acts as a bridge connecting diverse nations and cultures. By promoting cross-cultural exchanges, it fosters greater understanding among people worldwide. The universal themes explored in Indian films, such as love, family, resilience, and the triumph over adversity, resonate deeply with global audiences, transcending linguistic and cultural barriers. The influence of Indian cinema is evident in the popularity of Bollywood dances world over, the growing number of film festivals dedicated to Indian films, and the increasing prominence of Indian actors on the international stage. Beyond showcasing the country's artistic and creative talent, Indian cinema plays a vital role in uniting people and celebrating the beauty of diversity. Our film industry has undeniably earned global recognition for its distinctive storytelling, captivating music, and striking cinematography. However, it is not without its challenges, including piracy, censorship, and intense competition from international markets. To, to navigate these obstacles, Indian filmmakers are turning to digital platforms, as we all know, such as Netflix, Amazon Prime, and Disney Plus, to present their work to global audiences. These platforms provide innovative distribution channels that break away from traditional models, enabling filmmakers to experiment with fresh storytelling techniques and connect with a broader, more diverse viewership. Our industry is entering a new era brimming with promise and potential. With a wealth of exceptional talent, cutting edge technological advancement, and an increasing demand for diverse content, Indian filmmakers are set to explore uncharted territories in the global film landscape. The creative possibilities are boundless, offering endless opportunities for innovation and imagination. These factors solidify Indian cinema's position as a powerful cultural force on the world stage, poised to make a lasting impact and captivate audiences around the globe. Its success is a testament to the compelling power of storytelling and the limitless creativity of human expression. Through a rich variety of narratives, breathtaking visuals, and unforgettable characters, Indian cinema has consistently inspired, entertained, and united audiences worldwide. As we acknowledge and celebrate its unparalleled cinematic achievements, let us continue to enhance the enduring magic of Indian cinema and its profound impact on the global cultural landscape. Now, my conclusion. There are many challenges inside our industry also. Nowadays, the main challenge is the corporate world's work culture impacts the creativity of directors. Let me conclude. The main challenge we face in Indian cinema is how to protect the multicultural representations of it. The reality is that Bollywood fails in such attempts where regional movies satisfy some extent. We should wait and see how this complex reality sets the way of the future. That is my paper. Thank you. Thank you.
GP Ramachandran, he very excellently, it's an excellent speech. He just panoramic historical perspective of cinema. He told about that to you, and we are from the FIPRESCI he told you, the International Organization of Critics. So we write on cinema, we judge cinema critically. That's why we are trying to give the several aspects of cinema. From these aspects, you can get the answer. What is the challenge of Indian cinema? What is the challenge of Indian cinema in the world perspective? So, GP is make a history to you and critical history of the art form of film. Now we are going to hear Latika Didi's speech, and we are, especially I, am fond of her writing, fond of her judging films, and she's very good speaker. I think she will mesmerize you. Now, please listen.
I thought about approaching this subject in a little different way. The word that is used in the title of this talk, challenges. Nowadays we always say there's no problem, there's no difficulty. It's a challenge. Everything is a challenge. Like the word resilience, we never used earlier, but today people are resilient. What was the word we used earlier? I don't know, but we didn't use resilience. Anyway, so the challenges that we talk of today, Indian cinema actually has been recognized on the global stage for many years, right? From 1934. So, what was the challenge then, and what is the challenge today? After all, a cinema has to be promoted, and you and I may like a film, but finally, the people who send the film for a nomination, may have a different view. So, their challenge is different, and our challenge is different. So I thought what I would do is, to begin with, to give you people a list, not a comprehensive list, a list nonetheless, of films that have won awards, sometimes major, sometimes not so major, on the global platform, so that you know what kind of films have been appreciated by a global audience, how they have gone beyond the Indian spirit or the Indian atmosphere, and have reached an audience much larger than just India. As I said, the first film was quite old. It was called Sita, 1934. That was when it, made an impact on the world stage. And this film was basically mythological. So Indian mythology, Sita, that was also appreciated. The second film was Santa Tukaram. Now Tukaram was a spiritual film, That also, and it was directed by Damle and Patela. Now that also reached world audiences. Then, after that, a series of films which, was India proud to show this? Exploitation, poverty, lower depths of a city, how the poor people live. Was India proud to show it? But a good film was made on this, and it was shown, and it was appreciated. So that film in 1946 was Nicha Nagar. Now this won a film award, a major award, Grand Prix it is called, in Cannes. And as you know, there are certain film festivals in the world which are apparently more important than others. They have a long tradition of importance. They have a long tradition of attracting the very best talent from all over. So the best films will go to Cannes, they'll go to Venice, they will go to Berlin, they will go to Toronto, Locarno, and so on. Now they will go to Sundance. But among the most attractive award is the Oscar, the Academy Awards in the USA. But Oscar will generally give one award, to a best international film. Otherwise, most of the awards are American awards. So, Nicha Nagar also spoke about poverty and exploitation, and that was also appreciated. We'll come to that later. Thereafter, and these are films maybe you've not heard of because they are so old, but it might be a good thing to know of them. To know a film like Nicha Nagar, that such a film existed. Duniya Na Mane. Now, Duniya Na Mane was a film of 1950s, 59, and that also spoke about social discrimination. That also spoke about poverty. And this film became extremely popular in what was then USSR, the Soviet Union. Not Russia then, the Soviet Union. But this film showed not just poverty and no relief from poverty, it showed how women actually, who are discriminated against, eventually there is hope for women's empowerment. So that film also made a mark. Then, again in the 50s, mid 50s, there was a film called Do Bigha Zameen. I don't know if you've heard of it, you may have. Now that also won awards in Cannes and in Karlovy Vary, two important festivals in Europe. This was directed by Bimal Roy, and apparently, I didn't realize it when I saw it first many years ago. There was a very famous film movement called neorealism in Italy, and this film took on from that neorealism the ways of treating, the ways of approaching a subject, and the ways of actually making the film. So it's also a film where commerce and art came together. Do Bigha Zameen. It was very well appreciated by common people, and it was appreciated also by people who like to call it an art film. Then there was another one called Munna by excuse me, K.A. Abbas. This film, surprisingly, had a lot of exposure outside India. Not so much within India, it didn't do so well, but outside India it did. Then came the big Indian film, Pather Panchayat. How many of you have seen it? I think you should. Just see it wherever you can. Any platform, any disc, anything. Pather Panchayat by Satyajit Ray, his first film. He made 3 films called the Apu trilogy, of which Pather Panchali was the first, Aparajit was second, and Apu Samsar was the third. That won the Best Human Document Award in Cannes. Now, Pather Panchali is really a film which brings poetry and poverty together. And how can you be poetic about poverty? I don't know, but it does. Take a look at it. It is a film which will touch every chord of your body. Beautifully made. But these were films that were made without, at that time, even when Satyajit Ray made it, having a global audience in mind. Your audience is primarily Bengali. And then it can be Indian also. They did not think of those things at that time. I want my Bengali audience. And in fact, if I remember right, when Pather Panchali was released, this great film, there were people who said that they're talking about, in India, who said they're talking only about poverty. But what a film it is, the way it is made. Practically no other film it is still regarded as the best film in India. After all the advances we have made in technology, it is still regarded, it was early technology, still regarded as India's best film. So, obviously, only advance in technology, more money, more into production, more into commerce, more into sales, does not really answer the question about how a film reaches an audience. It did not, at that time, films like Aparajito and Apu Sansar and Pather Panchali and others did not at that time say, oh, how will we reach? What kind of response? Because, when you were talking, Mr. Ramachandran, you did say something which I think is true today, is very often when there is a director who has a kind of film in mind and tries to look for a producer who will help him with the film, distributors want to have different kind of cinema. They don't want to have what the producer is saying. They want, we won't get audience. We won't get audience. Well, Pather Panchali did not get a great audience in the beginning, but where it reached, was quite something. We are now into Raj Kapoor's 100th birth anniversary, and Raj Kapoor films are being shown everywhere, even at this festival. So you have Raj Kapoor's Jaagte Raho, for instance. I don't know how many of you have seen Jaagte Raho. Jaagte Raho was a film where it was all about water. A poor man wanting water. That a poor man cannot even get water from a public tap is something that is quite unique and unbelievable. But the whole film is how he searches for water and what happens to him at the end. This was also about poverty. So a lot of films that were about poverty probably had a greater emotional appeal to a Western audience, all the people who were seeing it, because they were seeing different kinds of poverty, not just one kind of poverty, but different kinds of poverty. Aparajito, also a film by Satyajit Ray, that was 1956. He won a major award. It was called the Golden Lion in Venice. As I said, Venice is an important film festival. And he went on to win many more awards. Now, this was the second film of the what is known as the Apu trilogy. And the difference here in thematic difference is that, films in India, especially in commercial cinema, you will have noticed if you see commercial films, maybe not all films today, but films of, half a generation, 2 generations ago, they have certain ideas. A mother-in-law is of a certain kind. A mother is of a certain kind, Caste means certain things. So they have certain fixed ideas and generally commercial cinema goes by that. Now here for mother-in-law means very domineering at all times. Mother means always loving to every child, whatever the child is. Like here in Aparajito, there is a son-mother relationship, which is a little different from the way it is normally shown in commercial cinema. And it is very beautifully done. So that also it actually ended up with 11 awards, but the most important was the Golden. And I'm talking about awards outside India. I'm not talking about the Indian awards, because Indian awards, they were all recognized, whether they get national awards or Filmfare awards, they get all of these. I'm talking about awards outside India, global challenges, which is why we're speaking about. A very different kind of film was made in 1961, which was also recognized, Kabuliwala. I don't know if you've heard of Kabuliwala. This is a very famous film about a man who sells chana, who comes from Afghanistan and makes friends with a little girl, 4-5-year-old girl in Calcutta. His own problems and how he befriends this girl. A very, very delicate theme, very beautifully done. Then, have you heard of the film Do Aankhein Bara Haath? You may have heard. Now, all these kind of commercial films also have gravitas, if you want to call it, good song and good dances, songs sometimes, and talking about songs into brackets. I think in the evolution of Indian cinema and Hindi cinema in particular, commercial cinema, which you have just passingly mentioned, but I'll just give it a little more accent, that in the 50s, 60s, 70s, up to the 80s, one important thing happened as far as music is concerned. 3 different things in Indian cinema, and maybe you'll agree if you actually listen to old songs. 3 different trends came together. One is the lyricist, because the lyrics were fantastic, even if the movie wasn't. The singer, because we had some of the greatest singers, whether it was a Rafi or a Lata or an Asha or a Talat or a Manna Dey or whoever. And the composer. So composer, singer and lyricist, they all came together to give us absolutely fabulous music. And I see that young people today also listen to old songs more than, even though they haven't seen the film. Yeah. So this was Do Aankhein Bara Haath was a film made by one of the early filmmakers in India called V. Shantaram. If you've heard of V. Shantaram, I don't know. Janak Payal. Yes. And this film also had a different theme and was recognized abroad for both its thematic value as well as its other emotional as well as its storyline. This got a silver bear, not a golden bear, but silver bear, which is the second highest prize in Berlin. And it's about a man who looks after criminals in a prison, and he decides to rehabilitate them. So he rehabilitates 6 prisoners, and that is his, his good journey on earth, and they also get rehabilitated. So it's not only poverty; it's this kind of social, communication also. 1965, another Ray film, Charulata. Now this had nothing to do with poverty, but it was a great film nonetheless. Charulata was about a middle class family. We could even call it slightly higher middle class. Higher middle class. And it was about a man who is a man and woman, they are married, living in a nice house, and he is the editor of a paper or magazine. And she has other interests, fine art and literature and poetry and so on. How they get along, but they are separated by their differences, and how another man and his brother enters the picture. It's very, very well told. So it's emotionally charged. Yes, that's an extremely restrained at the same time film. So that won an award. Then we had something quite unique. An award going to a popular actor, Shivaji Ganeshan. You may have heard of him, South Indian actor. So he won a major award as Best Actor in a major festival in Cairo. You may have heard of the well-known film Guide with Devanand and Wahida Rahman. You may have heard. Well, she also won an award in Chicago. So a Guide was basically a commercial film, but her acting in that film obviously was liked by the audience and the critics. So she won an award. Then much later, I'm not giving the complete list of awards. Nandita Das, she's also a great actress. She won an award in a film called Bhavandar. And this film was based on a rape that became quite talked about in India, Bhauri Devi rape in Rajasthan. It was based on that, yes? I thought you were saying that. No. So she was the Bhauri Devi, who was a rape victim. Actually, it became a personal humiliation. It became a social humiliation also. And what was questioned there, socially she was ostracized. Why should a woman who has done nothing wrong be ostracized by the public? But that is how it is in India very often. And it's nothing to do with the woman most of the time. So she was ostracized, and the legal system was also questioned in this film. So why I'm giving you these examples is to show you the diversity of Indian cinema, both serious as well as commercial, like Guide was a commercial film, which actually won accolades abroad. Then there was I think you would know this, Salam Bombay.
Yes.
That you would know, of course, Meera Nair. This was based on daily life of children, street children and so on. Then there was, in 2000, there was a Marana Simhasan. This was the Mulli Nair that won an award in Cannes. Then in 1996, there was a film called Earth 1947. This was done by Deepa Mehta. And this also won several awards won award in several nominations at a festival. Then there was Split Wide Open, but I don't know it. I don't know much about it, but I just read it. And then there was 2011 a film called I Am Kalam. And this was best feature in many festivals. At the Oscars, I think we've had A.R. Rahman for Slumdog Millionaire. Rasul Kuti also. And yes, he's here. And Gulzar. And they've all won awards, one for the music, one for the lyrics, and one for sound mix. That's right, yeah. Then Satyajit Ray has also got an honorary Oscar. He got it in 1991. Then there was a Marathi film called Court. I don't know if you've heard of it, you may have. That also won an award in several festivals. It also questioned the legal system. Sai Pranspe was here till yesterday. Her film Disha also won awards. That was awards. It was a story of migrant workers who have no work in the rural areas, and they come to urban areas and they I don't need to say anything about that. Everyone knows about it. So actually, I'm not covering all the films, but I just wanted to show a little diversity. Even some of the problems of development that India has faced, like discrimination or poverty and so on, they can be the basis of a good film, if well done abroad. I'll come to something else later. But as far as the Oscars are concerned, Oscars are supposed to be the major thing. If you get an Oscar, it's a big thing. But actually, only 3 were nominated for the Oscars. You send film for the Oscars. India sent 50 films for the Oscars. How many really get nominations? Basically, only 3 got. I think the first one was Mother India. I think you must be knowing Mother India if you've heard of it. Some beautiful songs there also. Salam Bombay and Lagan. So they did not get the Oscar. After all countries are sending films with only 1 Oscar, so you can't expect every film to get an Oscar. But Lagan also did not get, but it was nominated. So what this shows, in my view, this list, I've taken up too much time. My list, I think, shows that only cultural factors don't make a difference. If you think that Indian films embedded in India, embedded in our soil, will not speak to another audience, no, that is not true. It will speak. Of course, I will add that if a film, let us say, in this case, a Marathi film, because we're in a film is Marathi, or even let's say Marathwada type of film, it may be that it speaks more to the local audience. They might get a few nuances more than what anyone outside Maharashtra will get. That is true. And maybe India will get more nuances than someone in Australia. That is also true. But these films have risen above that. There may be nuances, but obviously there is a connect. Now, where does that connect come from? It comes, in my view, but you can add, and you can add also, from 2 major things. A, it has to have artistry. Only then will it actually, if it's just a commercial film with a good theme, that's not enough. It has to have artistry. Secondly, it has to have a humanity which is above just a cultural link. A cultural link might be cultural link to your people, to your state, to India, but that humanity will transcend just that cultural link and give this link to other people also, so that Pathir Panjali, with both its poetry and the poverty in it, will speak to people in the whole world and not just India. I said artistic humanity, but I think if the film finally, when it reaches someone, you are the audience, it reaches you, then I think it has to provoke you into thinking, it has to needle you, it has to make you feel, and you have to react. If you forget the film 2 days after you've seen it, then that film has not made an impact. It often happens when we are watching ordinary commercial cinema. So some of the things that in our cinema, which have been, I suppose, understood, and that is why they have been awarded, that we do have a caste system. Yes, I will. Achyut Kanya, one of the great films of India, also spoke about this. Sujata, I don't know if you've ever seen this film Sujata with Sunil Dutt and Nutan, I think it was, huh? And that famous, Nutan, yeah, with that famous song Jalte Hain Jiske Liye Tere Aankhon Ke Liye. So you know that. But what happens with these kind of films is that inside the caste system, these become a story. They have not always questioned, like Shyam Benegal did, the entire caste system. When you talk to Shyam Benegal and you talk of a film like Ankur, there is also one incident that happens between a girl and a boy. She's a Dalit and he's not. But it becomes a questioning of caste, not just, it doesn't get limited to any one thing only. So whether it's that one or whether it's Manthan or whatever it is, he has spoken of caste in terms of questioning it as a social parameter. So what he did was he challenged caste. I'm using the word challenge. I didn't want to use it. He challenges it both aesthetically and ideologically. He does that. Because earlier directors highlighted one incident. He, taking one incident, questions it on a social level. Then it becomes a humanistic thing also. So I also want to tell you that something referring to what Mr. Ramachandran said, that popularity has depended on different factors. Raj Kapoor, for instance, was extremely popular in the Soviet Union at that time. And I remember, give you a little incident. I had gone to Uzbekistan. And in Uzbekistan, my friends and I, we had a small group which went to Uzbekistan. And we were walking down the roads of Tashkent. And we had only worn pants and salwar, we had not worn saris or anything. There was no way for someone to say, oh, you're an Indian from a distance. But they recognized. And they said, Indian, Indian. So we said, yes. Raj Kapoor, Raj Kapoor. I said, oh my God, that's the only thing they can think of. But yes, that came to them first. That was the first thing. And secondly, my 2 visits to, I went to Cairo, there's just Amitabh Bachchan everywhere. So I was quite surprised, but they knew them, and they knew Amitabh Bachchan surely also. So how, in as far as Raj Kapoor is concerned, it is definitely playing with the underdog. Raj Kapoor very often played the underdog, but played it with gusto, As far as Amitabh Bachchan is concerned, when you start with Sholay, what more do you want? So it's a big thing for them. So all these, whether they totally understand caste, which even I can't, then I don't think so. But that it segregates and there are films on it and there are well-made films on it is something they have done. In fact, into brackets, I just want to tell you one small thing which has nothing to do with cinema. I went to a convent school in Pune, and there were a few Maharashtrians, but there were lots of Punjabis, Sindhis, there were Christians, there were Anglo-Indians, there were, Muslims, there were Parsis, a lot of Parsis and so on. And whoever asked about caste, never did. So we graduated, and many years later, there was, 100 years of my school celebration. So there were many programs, and alumni was asked to attend, and I attended. And after the program was over, the principal said, any alumni wanted to say anything? So I raised my hand. And I praised my school, like every alumni will do. But I said, after 50 years, I'm standing here, not bothered about caste, in the same way that I was not bothered about it. I was not conscious about it when I was in school. It made no difference to me. Caste or religion made no difference. And that was the one thing we learned. How do we learn something which says don't make a difference? Normally you learn something which is positive, But here it was absent. And that absence has stayed with me. So I'm happy that, some films which question caste were understood, even if partially, by people abroad, and they were celebrated. So I think I've talked too much. Thank you very much for listening.
We have time, so 5 minutes, and after 5 minutes we can start. So 2 or 3 words I will.
Yes, please say whatever you want to say.
You please guide us. How long it will be?
No, I overspoke.
No, absolutely not. I think all the things already said. Already GP and Latika ji told everything, I think so. Because our social perspective, our historical perspective, and the social and historical perspective, the history of the artistic cinema, the artistic history of the cinema, GP, and the psychological and the philosophical background of cinema, Latika ji told. It's very good. I have learned from them. And I think you learned from them also, both of them. And I think it's in my mind, we are here, and especially I am being here to listen to you also, because you are our next generation, not next generation, the coming generation. So younger generation, the new generation. So what is your perception of cinema? We want to know. And with us, your interaction, I think make some provision, make the door open for all of us. Any new definition, any new diction of cinema. I think so. So feel free to question us, to feel free to talk with us. Before that, just one point I have to make. One thing, and it is also spoken by Latika Didi and GP. One thing, still now, this is my feeling, just one feeling I have to share. Cinema, when we got it from Western Front, we don't have any. You remember GP told the 1895, the Lumiere brothers invented cinema, and then narrative come. This is 1915. Griffith started the narrative. Otherwise, it's just documented picturization of documentation. So the evolution of narratives, so many styles are there. Latika ji just explained that. One thing, all the time, it's very threatening to us. We got cinema from West. We don't have any heritage of cinema. Poetry, novel, music, dance, drama, every art form we have, but we don't have any. Before Dadasaheb Phalke or before Hiral Sen, they are trying to, but that was colonial India, the not independent India. That time we are fighting with British, and at a time we are trying to get the completely machine dependent form. Cinema is completely machine dependent. The other art form is not so much. Just mind that. Theater is machine dependent, but not like cinema. So cinema is a great challenge to us. So before independence, so many directors, Didi named there, so many directors, so many technicians, they are trying to grasp the form of cinema, technical. So we are very technically sharp from our before independence. But when the Devaki Bose, V. Santaram, Chetananand, K. Abbas, Bimal Rai, and then Satyajit Ray, what they are doing or what they were trying to make the Western influence, the Western technology with the background of our indigenous background, that they are trying to mix it up and very artistically. There is a problem still now. We are now very technically sound in our industry, in our cinema. But technology is not the art form of cinema. Through technology, through technique, we can reach the form of cinema. But technique is not equal to form. It must be, keep it in your mind. That is the challenge, another challenge for us. When one director makes a film, it comes from her philosophy, artistic thought, cultural contribution, and the social surroundings. So, not only the content, not only the technology, content, technology, दोनों मिलके art form होना चाहिए. That is the art form of cinema. Okay, this is my addition. Now, please talk to us.
Certainly, you're open to asking any question, but I just want to have a small little thing. We live here, we know about Indian cinema, we have not the slightest clue about what is happening in our neighboring countries. Not about cinema alone. Even news from our neighboring countries, we know when there is an earthquake or we know when there is a coup d'etat or something like that, but we don't know about daily lives or what is happening in the country around us. And recently I had gone to a film festival where I was on a jury which we awarded a film from Myanmar, a good film. Now, who knows that there is cinema in Myanmar?
Right.
We don't know. And what has happened in Myanmar recently, whether it's with the Rohingyas or whether it's with the military coup d'etat, and that much we know. Do we know anything about daily life? We don't. We're not going to know. We don't read newspapers. We don't see anything online about Myanmar. We don't read a novel on Myanmar. See one film and you'll understand at least one aspect of daily life of Myanmar. The same thing I could say, I went to a film festival in Afghanistan. Beautiful festival, beautiful Afghan films. I've got Afghan directors as my friends. The kind of Afghan films that they make of great strength and emotion. We say, Afghan mein to kya chal raha hai? Afghanistan means, Taliban is there. But this was before Taliban, but now they're not allowed. But before Taliban, the most splendid films were being made in Afghanistan. And we have not one idea. So just to have an idea of what actually is transpiring in our neighborhood, if you can't read about it, see films.
GP, do you no. Please, you just contact. Question. Yes.
थैंक यू वेरी मच. अभी संवाद सत्र का समय है, इंटरेक्शन सेशन. तो आपके जो कोई भी सवाल होंगे, प्रश्न होंगे, आप अभी हमारे गेस्ट से पूछ सकते हैं.
You have another microphone. You have. So one for us and one for them. Otherwise, you use it and then when
Same Sure, without mic.
Okay. Please.
Please stand up.
Yeah, please.
Stand up and the name. Your name, please. Name, please. And the focused on the question. What is your question?
My name is Shravani Padgaonkar. Since my question is to you, at concluding your paper, you said that industry is facing many problems. First, do you really think that what problem industry is facing, that is the challenge to the global platforms?
Yeah. I said that the challenges. You please. There's a corporate protocol is going on in Bollywood. During a recent interview in Sanjay Kashyap, he's a very successful and a very new gen filmmaker. He said that the creative minds are not able to work there because of this protocol. As the distribution setups, and also there are agents for the stars. Then these things very much complicated the Bollywood system. It might be overcome, it may be changed, but in the South industry, in the Marathi industry also, it is not the position. It is somewhat creative minds can work there. In Bengali also, and other small languages also. I am not mentioned, but in Manipur there is cinema. In Gujarati there is cinema, in Punjabi, and in Bhojpuri and Tulu, and in Konkani. All languages we are taking small films, and they have not these corporate problems. So they will now they will guide the Bollywood also. So due to that reason, some films we can differ it with the RRR or any film, but they succeeded over the Bollywood. That is the reason. That was my point.
Good afternoon, sir. I am Khushi from College of Journalism. So my question was, sir, cinema has always influenced people on a higher ratio. So how do you think has cinema addressed social issues like gender equality, casteism, and tackled complex issues like mental health, sexuality, and disability?
This is a huge question.
Yeah.
Not been answerable.
Happy that
Short time.
you're concerned. You're happy that you're concerned about these issues. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think you have mentioned the major concerns that we should all have, not just women but men too. Even LGBTQ would be part of it.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling that our cinema, whether regional or actor, even if you see a film yesterday, like Amal
Angamma.
I think these issues are being addressed more and more. And a film like yesterday's Angamal will tell you they're being addressed quite openly also. And women are also participating in this openness. You can't but talk about it. We're talking about it in the papers all the time. We're talking about it in every other platform. And film will have to reflect what is happening in the society today. So the ones that you mentioned, disabilities, women's problems, women's issues, empowerment, everything I think is being tackled in its own way, not necessarily always frontally, but subcutaneously, all these problems are being issued. Do you agree? Do you agree?
Thank you.
A very good afternoon to all the jury, to all the dais. Sir, myself Huzaifal Muzafri from the College of Journalism. My question is that in the recent years, South Indian film industry have got so much international recognition in the worldwide and in the nation international level, which has sidelined the Bollywood industry. So, what South Indian film industry, regional industry for like Malayalam and Telugu is offering to the world, which the artistic stories where Bollywood is lacking.
That was I was trying to saying is please. Actually, the South Indian, I am from South India, but it is a notion that South Indian films can bypass Bollywood. No, that is a temporary phenomenon.
Alas.
According,
Alas.
yeah, according to me, it is a temporary phenomenon because Bollywood is much stronger and in all corporate level, in money level, in stardom, everything. So Bollywood rules South India also because Bollywood films are appreciated there also, and even from the early days, and it unites the nation also. I'm not saying that Bollywood is very good. That is not. It is excellent movies, but we criticize it also. Even Padar Panjali, at that time, Mother India, Mother India, in Mother India, Nargis was the star or the heroine, and Nargis was a member of parliament also. She was appointed into the Rajya Sabha by Jawaharlal Nehru. And Nargis criticized Padar Panjali. Yeah. Nargis criticized. It is. She said that it is selling poverty. So these are two depictions or two observations. That's all. So nowadays, because of the corporate and some same repetition of some themes, and so much things are happening. So yeah, during this COVID and after COVID in Bollywood, and due to this, the South India film earlier there is South Indians all are called Madrasis by North Indians. Actually, Madras is the or Chennai. Now it is Chennai. Madras is the headquarters of Tamil Nadu only. There are Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, now Telangana, then Karnataka and Kerala. But all are called by Madrasis. Why? That then there are distinctive and diverse cultures there. Even you heard about might be noticed a success film from Kannada. It is Kantara. This Kantara is not a totally Kannada film. It is not based in Bangalore or Mysore or Hubballi or the main Karnataka area. It is based in Mangalore. It is very near to Kerala, and it depicts the culture of that area. It is a very corner area. So it is not like the KGF or that thing. So the South India has succeeded. South Indian films have succeeded for temporarily only. That's my opinion.
Good afternoon, guys. Ritesh Sodhi this side from College of Journalism. Ma'am mentioned about the artistic integrity, and my question is, how can the industry navigate the censorship or the regulations while maintaining the artistic integrity?
I'm not sure I have the full answer to your question because I don't know how the industry functions since I've not been anywhere close to it. But I'm assuming that it is less artistic, the artistic side of a film that bothers the industry. What bothers the industry is the promotional aspect, the distribution aspect, and the money aspect. You know. So, if a film is artistically sound, that they will accept, but it must have a storyline which will, you know, make the people indulge and come. If it has a storyline which is left open, or which is not too positive or hopeful, or which does not have the kind of song and dance numbers that normally people enjoy. I think those are the problems more than the artistic side of a film. The artistic side of a film, the industry will accept.
The censorship problem
Censorship is
censorship problem is a very long problem because British government instituted the censor board in India. At that time, there was I think six or eight censor boards in India, not in the undivided India. They all in the coastal towns. One in Madras, one in Bombay, one in Karachi, one in Myanmar's what is Rangoon. One in Rangoon, one in Calcutta, not in Delhi. In that times, because everything from outside culture will come through ships. So to control it, the police commissioner of the particular city was the head of the censor board. That is this system continues now also. Even after the independence, our thing is everything. It is not written. It is not written. Everything is not written. Even Shambanegal is a very good committee. Shambanegal headed a committee to regarding the censor board. It's a history. To tackle this, new narrative styles, new camouflaging these things, everything has appeared in. It's a long history. You must study. Your question is very interesting, pertinent and interesting. There are a lot of study and also there are a lot of books on it. I have read many books on Indian censorship. Because Indian censorship actually created a there are three interruptions. There is a book called Interruptions. That book, three things that formulated or encouraged the popularity of Indian cinema. One is censorship. The other is interval. The interval, and there is no intervals in international film. Even in our festival, there is no interval. The film festival, there is no. But in film theatre, there is an interval.
In any festival.
No, in any festival, there is no interval. Actually, the film is we are seeing as a whole by an interval. But this interval is for promoting the selling their products. That's okay. But also the storyline divides them up to the interval and post interval. That is, and song and dance sequences. Because when there is these three are interruptions to the narrative or the story. So they are creating out. So censorship in a way helped also to create new imagery and to create new beautification. It is glorifying some of our romances or female body, everything. It's a very long. You must study on it.
I have a feeling today, I may not be right, but censorship today is not so much on the body today as on political matters.
Yeah, right. Now it is on political.
Yeah,
it has shifted.
And very often, if these are small matters, it's sorted at the censorship level. When it's slightly bigger, then it becomes a public issue. Right. You know, something Kashmir files also have been censored. Things like that, they get censored, and that's the way our democracy is.
Any questions?
I have a question for you. Sir, this side.
Yeah.
Me being a journalism student, I am always curious to know how people handle their backlashes. Now, you all being critics, as we know that criticism invites various opinions. It can be positive, it can be negative. So, of course, you get appreciation for your criticism, but how about the backlashes? How do you handle it?
Yes, I got arrested and got
You're arrested.
Well,
I don't know this.
I got arrested and the industry was in Malayalam industry and some scuffles and they given an FIR and court and I got the case was I got High Court acquitted me, nothing is there. But it was a long court process. So it is not an easy process. We got that was on a Facebook post. There was an actress was attacked. In Kerala, an actress. The case is now is going on the Hema committee. All I think, in Kerala, and a popular actress was attacked in the streets of Kochi during after her shooting was finished and she was going to her place. The actor was brutally attacked and sexually molested inside a car. The case is going on. So at that period, everyone divided. We are Aval Koppam. There was a logo, Aval Koppam. We are with her. That Aval Koppam. And the whole industry was very much in trouble. And after that, the government appointed Hema committee to. That was in the whole world. It was the first thing. The government is appointing and inspecting how the workforce or the women workforce in all aspects in Malayalam cinema. So in that fact, a lot of scuffle was there, and one of my Facebook posts was quoted, and one producer gave a case. The police took the case, and it was now it is okay. Everything. Just to say, this is also even now. These PR agencies are promoting the film. They are lot of they are doing PR agencies, and they will do everything. Even you criticize a film in social media, they will come in thousands. So it is not an easy.
So, sir, has this whole incident has ever changed your approach for the films?
No. Well, then we are not here. It has strengthened many of friends come with somebody. Many of friends come with and they give solidarity to.
We must not
solidarity. One, I was working in a bank and central institution at that. A central government employee. He was with the postal department. He immediately called me and GP. I have with my salary certificate, all tax certificate. Whenever you want the bail, I will give this. But from other sister, so that was a solidarity.
Same question.
Yeah.
Already you question.
Can I ask?
I just feel that if you're a critic and you're writing not on social platforms, because there every other person can write anything he wants, and you can't be having cases against thousands of people. So if you write in any respected media, if you have said something which others criticize, you have to be ready
But
to
you
accept
must be
that.
self-judicious and self-critical also.
We have
also.
We have only 10 minutes. Up to 2 we will talk. So please, because we have to see our movies.
Let's have this last question.
There's a honored gentleman. He's sitting here. We have to go to.
So we most of the time we saw the comparison between Indian cinema and Hollywood or the world cinema. So my question is how can we stop or see the competition between Indian cinema and the Hollywood? As a media student, the media which only create the us versus them mentality. So how we can stop it and how you see it?
Actually, my own personal view, but this is personal, goes beyond cinema. Whenever anyone tries in India to put India first for anything and everything, I want to take a step. I said, no, let us just be normal people, good citizens, and that's all. That we are the wisest, we are the oldest, we are the greatest. That in cinema or anything else, that I find a little difficult to take. So when people want to be proud of their country, the country has achieved this and that. Yes, suppose tomorrow we have a Nobel Prize winner or something like that. Of course I'll be proud, there's no doubt about it. But to constantly hammer and say we are the best, that I am not part of that. Others may be, but I am.
Any other? Any other question? Sir, already you have questions. Just one and one, please. Quick, be quick.
So as the current trend going on in our nation that the government backing some controversial films like which is considered as controversial by the audiences. So what is the view of the dais on those aspects like Kerala Story, Kashmir Files, and all?
No. So what I don't I have my opinion, but here is it's not the place to opinion. Yeah. So what you first, this is my suggestion. You first see the movies first, then take your decision. It's good or bad for our nation or for our country. That's the very simple answer. And you, one minute. Your question?
Sir, as we have already reached the government and politics, so I would like you to ask what role does you think government and politics initiatives have played in shaping the film industry?
Government, this is also a very good question, and it needs a government. Always government has a view, and you know, our nation, India got independence in 1947. 1948, Gandhi was president. In 1949, 1949. That is well before the Republic is instituted. The Republic of India is instituted in 1951. 50. Okay. Yeah, 50. Before our Constitution and Republic of India was instituted, a film enquiry committee was constituted in India by Government of India. That is the SK Patil Committee. That's a historic document. The SK Patil Committee traveled all over India. They met all industrial persons, then journalists, then critics, so everything, and they formulated a 700-page document that you will. It is available in online. You can get the PDF. And after submitting it, the first part and second part of it, government rejected it.
Yeah.
That is the height of the government, not of the film industry or the. And third part they accepted. In the first and second part, it was about the control of the cinema. Control of cinema. They suggested that every script should be submitted to the government. Script, not the film. Every script should be submitted to the government, and government will allow, and government will decide which is to shoot, which is not to shoot. That such things they rejected the government. That is the height of the Indian government also. And the third one, the third part, it suggested that it is an entertainment value, it is an educational value, it is a social value, film. So to promote that, you should institute film awards, film institutes, film development corporation, such and such things, film archive. To that, with accepting these suggestions, 1954, National Award started. 1955, International Film Festival of India started. Then Film Institute in Pune, Film Archive in Pune, everything was National Film Development Corporation, and then all these things. So government has helped, and government has helped. Government has so many political problems. We know lot of people. Ours is a very vibrant democracy, and we are living it with it. So there are so many instances that is the beauty of India also. There's the beauty of India. We have that freedom. We have used it, and we have many challenges. We have surpassed many challenges. So cinema is part of that also. Cinema is nothing. Only this is for entertainment, and you pay the movie and you go. That is not that. It has so much social values and social implications, and in our times, some 13-year in last New Year Day in our Kerala, 2 murders were done by 13-year-old boys. 13-year, 1-3, 13-year-old boy. What is a level of violence in our cinema? What is the level? What this advice or what this message these violent films are giving to us? In a recent film in Malayalam, they use that they used 500 liters of artificial blood. 500 liters of artificial blood. I have never seen. I never seen that film. 500 liters of artificial blood for that film. So we have to criticize it. The critics' duty is not of the only the professional critics or as us. It is the duty of all everyone. Everyone. Okay.
We have 2 or 3 minutes in hand. The 2 is not that. Do you want to tell something? Yes, sir. So, first, when we have started, one point I told you, Jay, we are here to listen to you because you are our future. You are our future. So, I think there is very good questions, and you are raising the all social issues, gender issues, censorship, violence, industry, artisanship, etc., etc. All of you, and we don't have so much time to answer you properly. But I think you first read the books if you need. You are questioning on that. Just ask us which book you will read. There is so many books. There is a very good. You just forget about the critiques, the criticism. Forget about it. You first read so many good books on cinema, already published and sold regularly. So you and your university is here, your department is here. You can you can make your demand, you can make your claim to read the books first. Secondly, the most important thing is you have to see, you have to watch the films, the classical films first. Our Indian cinema is so rich. The social issues all are in our Indian cinema. So many names of the directors, both of them told us. Apart from them, I am telling you, you must see the Shyam Benegal's film. They are classicists. You must see Adur Gopal Krishnan's film. You must see G. Arabindan's film. Have you heard G. Arabindan? G. Arabindan's name. He's one of the greatest filmmakers in India. G. Arabindan's film. You must see Mrinal Sen's film, Ritik Ghatak's film. From Karnataka, Girish Kasaravalli's film, Girish Karnat's film. There is so many films. If you regularly, every day, you see a film or watch a film, you will get all of your answers from the films, and not from Indian cinema. Apart from Indian cinema, the masters of the world cinema, you must see it. You must see it. Recently, 2 or 3 names we can. So I and GP regularly see their films. One is from Philippines, Love Diaz. Love Diaz is a 4.5 hour lengthy films. One is from Turkey, Nurivil Selan. He's an excellent filmmaker. 3 hours lengthy. You must see this film. If you don't see it, you don't know what is happening throughout the world. The Almodovar's film, regularly, the Asghar Faridi from Iran, etc., etc. So your first task is to see film first. Okay, thank you.
उम्मीद करती हूँ आप सभी के सवालों के आपको जवाब मिल गए होंगे. The profound, detailed insights that have been shared here, I am confident कि ये हमारे लिए बहुत ही valuable guidance रहेगा. अभी हमारे इस शानदार सत्र को समाप्त करने से पहले, first and foremost, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all our panelists for their exciting and informative insights. और यहाँ जो भी श्रोता है मैं उन सभी का भी बहुत धन्यवाद करती हूँ, बिकॉज आपके ही इंटरेक्शंस के वजह से ये पूरा प्रोग्राम सफल हुआ है. एंड अ बिग थैंक्स टू द ऑर्गेनाइजर्स ऑल्सो, बिकॉज they have worked tirelessly for it, and all the efforts are appreciated. Thank you very much.